Welcome to our second installment of Yes News TV. I hope everybody's tuning in. We will be putting this on our various social media sites. Here we are, it's September 11th, a rather somber day for everybody here in the tri-state area, or even on the East Coast and in this country. I can still remember 17 years ago what went on at my agency at Youth Enrichment Services and the loss of staff, relatives, children, family members, and it's something that's unparalleled. So I just wanted to point out that we still remember, and it certainly brought us together as Americans that day and in the months that followed. So I'm happy to say, though, that in the 17 years we have advanced not only Youth Enrichment Services, but everybody on how we deal with mental health issues, how we provide programming. So sometimes out of the worst comes the best. I'm joined here today by my Director of Programs, or the Yes Director of Programs, Carolyn Baez. And Carolyn is excited to be here because we have a lot of great things going on. Carolyn, welcome.
Thank you so much, MaryAnn, again, for inviting me. To be able to speak about all the wonderful things that are happening, you know, in our programs and in the agency. I want to first off just say, you know, I want to wish all the kids, because summer programs are done, and we went right to, you know, school, and the kids were excited to start school. And I feel like the summer programs really helped our children develop emotionally, socially, and prepare them for a great new school year of 2008, 2018, 2019. So I want to wish them, all my children, all our youth, all our students in the town of Islip and our communities of Long Island, a wonderful and successful academic school year.
Yes, and you do some academics in the summer with the kids, which is nice. I mean, we do it in a more fun or creative way than it's possible during the school day. So
yeah, definitely have project adventure activities, STEM curriculums, prevention, social emotional. That is so important for our children,
right?
You know, to prepare them. I hear a lot of our parents saying, thank you so much for such a great 10 weeks of programs, because we really feel like our child or our children are prepared to start a wonderful school year in school. So it's nice to hear that.
So now I know we have a brand new program that started the first day of school, bright and early, on Tuesday morning. And that program is our before school program for Central Islip Elementary students.
Very exciting new initiative that we started with Central Islip, the Central Islip residents, our Central Islip community. Wonderful before school event, before school program. It started the first day of school. It was at 6:30 a.m. and it ends at 9:30 a.m. It's a Monday through Friday, and it's located at the Central Islip Senior Center, which is 555 Clayton Street in Central Islip. We have wonderful staff. We already have high enrollment in the program. It just shows the needs. It's a wonderful program for our working families. You know, a lot of our working families are first responders, so they need to have their children in a safe, supervised place. So I think it was a wonderful opportunity for our Central Islip residents and our families and children.
And that before school program kind of parlays into that after school program, also available for elementary students in Central Islip.
Yeah, the existing after school program that we've had several years now at the Cordello Elementary School, that's being held Monday through Friday from 3:10 to 6:30 p.m. That's open to all elementary school age students in Central Islip, as well as students that are enrolled in private school, but they reside in Central Islip. So that was a parallel to that program. And the after-school program at Cordello was so successful that once we questioned and we surveyed our parents and they told us about the need about having before school, we felt like, why not do this? So with the support of our families, the support of the Central Islip School District, our administrators, and of course of our community, we started this program, and it's been very successful. We have Miss Rhonda Netterman there, we have Miss Janelle Hutchinson there, and other staff that has made this program possible. So we're very excited about this new initiative.
Yes, and so am I. Of course, when we start something new somewhere else, we do get requests in other places. So we have had a request to do something similar in Brentwood. So that's something that we are looking into. What are your thoughts about doing something in Brentwood?
Oh my God, I think that we should do it in all our schools in the town of Islip. Before school, after school care, it is so important. We hear our families talking about how childcare is not as affordable as it used to be. And to have a program that is $6 a day, an after-school program for elementary school-age kids, and less than $6 a day to do before school, it's something that's very affordable and it's needed for our communities. So I do advocate that every school district in the town of Islip, that we get together and collaborate and have this type of service in all the school districts in the town of Islip.
Yes, it is exciting. And it comes with a lot of, there's a lot of craziness at the beginning, but I think everybody, from what I observed, did a great job. Do some shout outs to the Central Islip School District for the people that were working with you, because a lot of people don't realize that it's not just bring your child.
No.
You drop your child off to us, and then a bus comes and picks them up to get them to the elementary building, and the same after school. So who are some of those people you worked with over at Central Islip?
Well, a little shout out to, of course, Dr. Koenig, our Central Islip superintendent, who's always been so supportive of the organization and our mission. Another shout out to Miss Sharon Dungy, who's the assistant superintendent, Miss Ridgway, our transportation director, our school principals, our school administrators. There's so many players that have played a role in ensuring that this type of program and service comes to part and that we implement it successfully. So we want to thank everybody who has played a very crucial role to make this happen. Yes, we have transportation from before school to their school where they attend, and we also have transportation from their school to Cordello after school program. In addition to that, I know that the Central Islip School District had changes with zoning. We have a program we've always had an after-school program at Mulligan and also at Reed Middle School. But with Mulligan, what's new about Mulligan is now that Mulligan, what used to be a middle school, is now an elementary school. So we started just a 6th grade program there. Our site coordinator, Miss Isabel Mitchell, who does a fabulous job, has great people coming up to her, enrolling their children. It is a free after-school program for 6th graders, and that is open to.
Why is it free?
Okay, well.
Why is one program right?
Yes,
so let's
great
talk
question.
about that.
So we do get funding. We do apply for grants that will fund our programs to have these type of programs and services.
And primarily, they like to fund middle and high school. Elementary programs are harder to get funded, that are seen as more child care.
Exactly.
They want to do more youth development types of programs at the middle and high schools. Am
Exactly.
I correct?
Yes. You said it, absolutely. It's about positive youth development, and yes, when we do get the funding, we do get it geared towards our middle school students and high school students.
But I do know, and I want to go back to that elementary program because it is so vital, and it's so affordable, and we work with families. I want to go back to, during the morning, the kids come at all different times because it's whatever the parents' needs are.
Yes.
And then whenever the bus picks up for that particular elementary building. After school, you have so many positive youth development programs anyway, so it really isn't just childcare. In the morning, the kids are in and out, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to do activities, but they do have activities, certainly. But in the afternoon, I mean, there's so many wonderful things that you have going, and I know that you work very closely with Miss Janelle, who is the site supervisor there. But I want to go into some of those things that you do at that elementary program, that it's not just homework time and coloring.
No, we do focus, like you said, MaryAnn, on positive youth development. What does that mean? It's really exposing children to high quality services and activities. We have the STEM program there. We have the Boys and Girls Club that come in and do stress management with our kids. We provide prevention services, teaching our kids at a very young age about anti-bullying, anti-violence, anti-gangs. We have tutoring services there. We have a lot of the volunteers that come from the Central Islip High School to do academic enrichment with our kids.
And a lot of those volunteers were in our after-school programs and have
Yes.
grown up, even some of our staff.
Yes, absolutely.
So challenges, hiring, I think is always a challenge in the hours that we need to hire. So what can you say about that and these kind of entry-level positions along with the professional staff? So where are we looking to hire people from? What kinds of walks of life are you looking at?
When it comes to hiring, we look at I would say any professional, any candidates that are looking to work with children that
Well,
really
I'm
want
then
to
saying
make
for that assistant program coordinator in that after-school program.
Yes. So we look for people that are from the community that really want to make a difference.
Some of them might be college students, and they
Yes.
work out their schedule
Absolutely.
to be there.
Many of our employees that are entry-level assistant program coordinators are currently attending college. We do encourage education. We want our people to actually get an education, go to school. But at the same time, you can have this part-time job working with youth and making a difference.
And sometimes even somebody retired and looking to slow down and not work as
Absolutely.
many hours.
A lot of our current employees were once a youth in our program, and I love that because they continue on. And working part-time, that doesn't mean that you're going to stay part-time for the rest of your life. Look at me, I started part-time in 2006. Now I'm a director. But it's about wanting to make a difference and really impacting that child's life. You're not just there to supervise and provide a safe environment. Yes, that is key, but you're also going to provide great quality service. A lot of us come from different backgrounds, an educational background, different abilities, different talents, and we always are open to that because anything that can impact and bring positive youth development to our programs, we welcome.
So let's go back to our middle school after-school programs that you had started with. When are most of them kicking off? I know that the elementary is day one, out of the box, we need these kids there. And I know we have a couple of weeks in between to let the middle schools get themselves together. And
yes, they have a few weeks
right.
to prepare.
When are we kicking that off? What's the week of that?
That is the last week in September. That is exactly Monday, September 24th. 2:30 to 5:30 in most of our middle schools. Start from West Islip all the way to Bayport. So we have West Islip after school program, with Bayshore after school programs, Brentwood after school programs, Islip, Central Islip, Bayport. So all of these programs that we have.
Bayport Blue Point School District.
Bayport Blue Point at the James Wilson Young Middle School. That starts Monday, September 24th. And these are programs that are 2:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday.
Fantastic. So you have a lot of positions to fill.
Oh yes, we do.
And I know we have we've been blessed to receive a lot of new initiatives and new grant funding, and with that comes positions that we need to fill, which I think we're going to go back to later on in the segment. So what are some of the qualities and characteristics that you look for in a youth worker, somebody that's really just coming in, getting their feet wet in youth services? They might have been a youth, they might just be a college student, they might be somebody in the community that wants to just give back. You make it, they get paid. I feel they can never be paid enough for the work that they do with our kids. But what are some of those characteristics?
Well,
and qualities?
the first thing we ask is, are they available to work those hours? Because sometimes it could be tough to be available in the afternoons. So that's the first question we ask. When we screen them, we ask a variety of questions. Is what has motivated you to really apply? That's the first thing I ask is, did you navigate the website? Do you know what our mission is? If you understand what our mission is, then and you want to be able to act on that mission, that this is the right job for you. Having passion, determination, hardworking, really wanting to make a difference, wanting to work with children. That is a key factor to wanting to being hired and working in our after school programs, and just not just any after school it's just after school programs, recreational programs, because in addition to our after school programs, we have other programs like the drop-in center that is held Monday through Friday from 2:30 to 8:30, and that is held at the Central Islip Senior Center as well. Mr. Elwood runs that program, and that program is for 8th grade and up students, high school students mainly. We get a lot of kids there, and we have a lot of activities. We put together basketball tournaments with the kids. So there's a lot of professionals out there that want to do that want to help our children, that want to mentor them, and guide them. So we have those type of opportunities. We also have programs like the open gyms. That's a recreational component that we have. That's held with, Mr. Juan Munoz runs that program, as in addition to doing work readiness and everything else that he does. He has this particular program that are being held. These are programs that are being held at the Brentwood Recreation Center, at the Central Islip Mulvey School, at the Bayshore Brook Avenue Elementary School. So we try to hold, in addition to after school programs, have programs at night to keep the kids out of trouble and show them something, give them an opportunity to play what they like to play, which is basketball, which is great. So we have that. So going back to your question, is what kind of qualities? It's somebody who's going to be passionate, determined, someone who wants to work with children, and someone who wants to impact those lives of their children and their families as well. And we do have intensive training. We hold staff trainings. The paperwork itself, to do the process, to get them hired, you know, you have to get cleared, fingerprinted. So we do go through a process, and you also have a screening process, interviews. There's like 3 interviews, but you know what? It's all worth it, because when you start working with these children, you know why. You know why you have the job. It's a very, very rewarding job.
Well, so now I'm going to ask you, what is your day like at Yes? And I know there's no typical day, so why don't we say, what was your day like last Thursday? Do you remember last Thursday? I know you worked so hard and diligently, but just to give everybody an idea of, I mean, we come on here, I'm MaryAnn, Carolyn, I think we're infamous and notorious, but whichever one. So what does Carolyn do? What might it look like? And no 2 days are alike.
So as a director of programs, I hold many different hats. You know, you can start your day out of breakfast with the Brentwood Chamber of Commerce and go on and to screening and interviewing. So it's a lot of work there, but at the end of the day, it's a very rewarding job.
So there are times when you pick up the phone and there's something that you have to deal with that involves maybe something negative, and those are the challenges that I know I face, and then I know you face, and most of it's all positive, but why do you still come back every day?
For the same reason.
It's okay. I really do want to know.
Yeah, it's really because of the mission. When you look back and you think about the impact you've made in the community, and I'm not just talking about myself, as a family, as a Yes family, it makes me want to get up and go back to work. And I say to myself, it was all worth it.
I know, because we have some tough days at times.
Yes.
And I think everybody does at work. But we certainly do. But they're so rewarding, and I agree with you. People ask me that on some of our more challenging days. So I think that's why you've grown so much, and you are such a leader at the organization, and I want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
And just thinking about some of the things that are coming up, we're going to have a lot of challenges, and they're going to involve heavily your division once again. I mean, we received 6 new funded initiatives
Isn't that wonderful?
over the summer. So we are overwhelmed.
Yes.
We are honored, and we are getting ready. So even to come do this show today was moving a lot of things around for me, and getting here 5 minutes before going on. It's been crazy, but it's really exciting because the initiatives are awesome. I mean, they really are. And we wrote most of them in a 3-week period. But I know some of the ones that are going to directly affect you and your division. We have 2 initiatives. We're the lead on a youth career work opportunity grant through OCFS, New York State OCFS, and the Department of Labor, and that's with Central ISIP. And then we're a partner, and Brentwood School District is the lead on another youth opportunity career grant. So we're going to have both of those things going on for Brentwood and Central ISIP for kids ages 14 to 18, and it's so exciting. But it's going to be it's going to be a positive impact, but it's going to be a lot of work. And then I know that we have an Empire initiative for Central ISIP High School, which is great. We've had for many years a 21st century at Central ISIP High School, and now we're going, and we had not had that for a couple of years, and now we're going to be doing this Empire program. And I know Juan Munez, who has been involved with 21st Century for years, and you have as well, and some of the key Central ISIP staff up at the high school will be there. And that kind of is an after-school program for the older kids, and kind of some of the things that you envision for that program, along with this great work, really intensive work program for 80 kids. I mean, that other grant is just going to be amazing. Exploration of careers, guest speakers, opportunities to job shadow, career mentor, and then of course placing these kids in jobs at Yes and other places. So that's exciting. And for Central Islip, having the Central Islip High School Empire program. So what kinds of activities and things do you envision that are going to be at this high school for our oldest students in school?
Yeah, well, like you said, it's all based on work development. That is key. Teaching our students or our youth hard skills, soft skills, community engagement, have pride in their community. So if they're attending a parade, that right there is teaching our youth about community engagement. Job shadowing, at the end, of course, job placement. You know, taking them on trips, you know, to different companies and other organizations, even to our town facilities, to our town supervisor's office, meeting the elected officials, shadowing them. Those are the type of activities that we want to do with our kids.
And that's for the work, but what about our Empire after school program, which mirrors more of our middle school program, similar to the 21st century that we were part of with Central Islip High School, where we had different activities like wellness every day, recreational activities. We had a work
wonderful. We've had technology. We had a cooking, health and wellness, STEM program.
And you know, Jack is going to be there doing that
absolutely.
with us.
That's so exciting. Yes.
So
yes, I was talking about that earlier today with Northwell and explained that to them. That we're so excited to bring that back again.
Because we're going to have the Empire Grant here, then we're going to have this other initiative here, which is going to be for 80 students. And I think our Empire one is about 150 high school students.
Isn't that's so exciting? It's so exciting. And a great opportunity for Central Islip and for our students, you know. You know, this is what we're all about. And like you said, in a 3-week turnaround, writing those grants, and I want to thank you, MaryAnn, for that, because I remember, you know, we are here starting summer programs. There's hundreds of kids everywhere, and you're finishing up these grants, and you wonder, what's going on? Did we get the grant? And when I know you called me and told me, I was like in tears, because to me, it's like, wow, you know, here we are. We got not one, not two, 6 grants awarded for our kids and our families. And that is why, see, you asked me earlier, why do I get up every day and go back to Yes? It's one of those reasons.
Yeah, and one of the other grants, and again, we worked with Brentwood School District on, and that's for safety. And that's really exciting because it's going to bring equipment and other things in, and that certainly the district will be speaking more about that.
I love it.
We're very excited about that. And then we have this DFC grant, which is from the federal government, which will be for our communities of Bayport, Blue Point, and Sayville school districts. So
amazing.
I'm leaving here to go to the first kickoff meeting for that grant, and that's really going to look at making our streets safe from drugs. I mean, we are in a heroin epidemic here on Long Island, and we are so excited to start that. We currently are involved with an IDA one in the Islip School District, and we're in the year 3 of the second 5 years, so year 8 really. But this is really exciting. It's 3 times as a charm. This grant was submitted twice before. Jessica Olson-Hoke, who is our Director of Prevention, and we found that about a week after we found out of all these other grants, so we were like, wow. So it's very exciting. That's really going to target that substance abuse and change those community norms about drinking, marijuana, vaping, which is huge, and of course our opioid crisis. Yeah, so that great. I want to talk about a very special grant that was kind of crazy that for years you ran at Yes, and with Hope for Youth we had a CRP program.
That's our court-referred program.
Right, right. And that CRP program was amazing. It really worked with kids that were getting a little bit involved in the courts and probation, and we were able to have them do intensive time with Yes and get mental health services if necessary through Hope for Youth. And we really did some great things. And of course the funding cycles change and different people come in, different governors, whatever. Right. And now we have this one that's Community Credible Messenger, and it's very similar, but it is different. And so you're going to be really overseeing that, and that's going to bring back our kids that are coming back to the community after having been placed outside of the home. Some people say incarcerated, at least in juvenile detention facilities and other and other venues where they're not living at home. They had gotten into some trouble, and now they're going to return. And what we want to do, because we know recidivism is very high with young people, we want to create that this village is going to take them back in, and they're going to be matched to a credible messenger or a mentor, somebody who really is connected to where they're from and some of the experience they might have had. So how excited are you about that? Because I know you're very excited.
I'm very excited. First, when when the application was submitted, all I was doing was praying to and hoping that we get this grant. And
do we see a lot of these kids anyway?
Yes.
And that's why it's important that we can get a little bit of funding.
We already are connected to these kids.
They come back and they come through our doors.
And they've been in our programs. They've been in our services. We're there with them. Our staff is there with them. So
sometimes even with our programs, a young person does make mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they come back, and we already are seeing them at an open gym or the drop-in.
Yeah, and we're still involving them in community engagement, in gang prevention.
So this is really going to be an intensified program,
individualized program for them, and have that mentor that's going to guide them. And that's what the credible messenger is, a transformative mentor that's going to be there for this child or this young adult. And I'm really excited
is that we're working with family and children.
Oh,
and
Dr. Jeffrey Reynolds.
So I know we've been trying to come up with something, if Jeff is watching this for a while, that we can work together on. And we were all surprised to get it, and we were all very happy.
Yes.
I mean, we did put our heart and soul into that grant.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. The people over at FCA are wonderful, and I know that there's also, what we're going to be doing will also be done in Hempstead. So it's really looking at Long Island and saying the kids in Islip, Brentwood Central Islip, Bay Shore, and these kids in Hempstead. So I'm very excited.
Yes.
And some of the things that I think of when we move into this next phase of Yes, where it's exponentially growing fast, are the staff people that we rely on every day. And I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you to Michael McGrath, who's our COO, and Juan Munez, who is right on there a lot with the work and the careers and the processing of our own employees. And you have Rhonda Netterman and Doreen Onisha, and I could keep going, Kathy Gedney, and Mary Beth Harmon, who runs our mental health clinic, and she will be here in probably episode 4. She's busy with the clinic right now. And Jess Olsen-Hoke, who really is a wonderful grant writer and really doing a great job over at prevention. And you have Jasmine Rivera, and there's just so many people that I don't want to leave people out, and I'm sure I will. But what I do want to say is thank you to all of you, because a lot of people look at me and they say no, if it weren't for you, because sometimes even writing those grants, you guys have to pick up everything else that I won't be able to do.
But so, I want to thank you, MaryAnn, because you really have guided us and really mentored us. But most importantly, you have believed in us to do this type of work. You are a wonderful boss and a leader, and I must say that your mentorship is what pushes us, because yes, the mission is important, but when you have a leader like yourself that exemplifies, believes in us, and knows you believe that we can get the work done, and you say, Carolyn, you can do that. Just like you told me about this show, and I said, absolutely not. And
you did not want to do this show.
I did not want to do this show. I'm not a show person, but you said to me, I believe in you. And that was a push and a challenge, but it's also a motivator for me. So I want to thank you for that, for being such a wonderful leader and a wonderful mentor to all of us.
Kind words. You wanted to just talk about some quick things to wrap up that are going on in the next month or two?
Absolutely. So we have this wonderful celebration, celebrating Hispanic heritage, celebrating the contributions of our Hispanic population, our leaders, our leaders and people that have influenced us positively. Here, town of Islip, we have about 85% of the population here in Brentwood right here in Brentwood, 80% in Central Islip or more. And, we have the Salvadorian consulate here. So there's a lot of Latinos that come down and, reside here in Suffolk County.
And who's doing this celebration?
And one of the events that I'm always so honored to be part of is with our, State Senator Phil Boyle of the 4th Senate District. He puts together this wonderful award ceremony.
Are you emceeing again?
And it will be held on October 4th, yes. Thursday, October 4th at 6 p.m. at the Bayshore Public Library, and I'm honored to be their mistress of ceremony. But you know what makes me so happy? That I get to see the list of honorees, and one of those honorees, I want to just give a shout out to Herbie Medina from Uplift Our Towns, who's being honored. We also have Wendy Rodriguez from Liga de Justicia, who's going to be honored. These are great leaders that do so much in our community. So I just want to give a shout out. But from September 15th to October 15th, we will be celebrating as we go our Latinos in our community and all the work that they do and the positive influence that they have in our community.
And thank you, Carolyn, for joining me today. And we will see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you.